Good morning. We started our work in the press center of Ukraine Crisis Media Center and now give the floor to Colonel Maksym Prauta, the spokesperson of the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine, with the information about the activities of the ministry. Welcome. Good morning, dear guests. I'm glad to see at our press conference. Here is information about the activities of the Ministry of Defense and the Armed Forces of Ukraine. The Minister of Defense of Ukraine, General of the Army Stepan Poltorak, has had a meeting with the representatives of the Congress of the US. During this meeting, the sides discussed the situation in the east of Ukraine, as well as issues of bilateral cooperation. The Minister of Defense of Ukraine informed representatives of the Committee on the Armed Forces of the US about defense reforms in Ukraine. The congressman said that they are satisfied with the results of reforms implemented in Ukraine in the defense sector and said that Ukraine has wide support in the US Congress. On the same day, the congressman saw equipment and procedure of training in the International Security and Peacekeeping Center in the National Academy of Ground Forces in the Lviv region. This delegation appraised the results of common work on the reparation of infrastructure in the International Security and Peacekeeping Center and the training center for the armed forces that has been held with the active support of the armed forces of the United States and American government, as well as other international partners of Ukraine. Ukrainian pilots returned to Ukraine after having successfully completed the Ukrainian-Danish operation Northern Falcon 2017. During 1 month, in the extreme climate conditions, they carried by the plane Il-76MD from US Airbase Tula to the Danish Polar Station Nord in Greenland, nearly 43 tons of cargo and 720,000 liters of petrol. This is a record over the 9 years of Ukraine's participation in this operation. The total number of hours spent in the flight is over 120. During this time in Ukraine, one more crew of Defense Transport Aviation was trained to fly in the international airways. The head of the General Staff, Commander of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, Viktor Muzhenko, made the decision that structures of military administration responsible for training of servicemen and units should be staffed by the professional officers with the experience of combat. This will allow to share experience that they acquired in the east of Ukraine during combat action and to share it with other servicemen. At present, the General Staff improves the system of career progress for officers, sergeants of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, according to which they will be moved to command, staff, and administrative posts. The common efforts of legal service of the Ministry of Defense and of the Military Prosecutor's Office, a land plot in Kamenka-Kashirsky district of Volyn region was returned into possession of the Ministry of Defense. The provision of High Economic Court of Ukraine left without changes previous decisions of courts stating that the plot of an air base should be returned to the Ministry of Defense. As the court decision is going to enter in action, the ministry plans measures to aim to actually return it into the possession and to start using it. At the same time, the ministry continues appeals related to aim to return other plots that has been illegally seized by local authorities. The officers of the United Center of Civil Military civil military cooperation of Operation Tactical Group Lugansk, together with volunteers, delivered to the frontline positions camouflage nets, food, and other help from people in Lviv region. They also helped to school number 26 in Severodonetsk to carry some equipment for a kindergarten. The armed forces of Ukraine continue to receive help from the citizens of Ukraine. Over the last year, within the campaign Support Ukrainian Army, the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine received almost 850,000 hryvnias, and this year the citizens have already donated to the armed forces more than 145,000 hryvnias. Of these, 63,000 for equipment and the others for medical equipment of the armed forces. Defenders of Ukraine continue to receive awards for their service and participation in combat. Over the past year, over the last week, more than 150 servicemen received state awards, and 384 soldiers received awards from the Ministry of Defense. Nearly 600 soldiers who participated in combat obtained the status of combat participant. In total, since the start of the conflict in the east of Ukraine, 13,055 servicemen and staff members of Ukraine received state awards, and 38,622 soldiers and staff members received awards from the Ministry of Defense. The status of combat participant was given to 199,114 soldiers who participated in combat. The military engineers in the east of Ukraine defused almost 62 hectares of land, and disposed 741 mines and explosive devices in the east of Ukraine over the last week. Since the start of the conflict, they have already disposed nearly 147,800 mines and explosive devices and cleared from them almost 3 hectares of land in the Donetsk and Lugansk regions. This is all for today. Thank you. The next information from the Ministry of Defense.